Good afternoon to each and everyone attending this class. Very nice. So friends, today we are starting the classes for Indian economy, right? And myself Rameshwar. And I think you must be knowing about me. And anyhow, I am the teacher for Indian economy classes to be given to you. So in today's class, right, we will be having some kind of introduction, right? Indian economy, right? This is the subject in which I am to deal, right? So, without much delay, let us discuss about the way how I am going to take up your class, right? So, the whole syllabus of this subject, Indian economy, my style of teaching is what I bifurcate the total syllabus into prelims and mains all together separate, right? So syllabus, the whole syllabus of Indian economy will be divided by me into two parts, right? The prelims part and the mains part. Right? And we are not going to study such sort of thing as, PT cum mains, means we are studying the topics of PT and extending them to say that it is the part of mains. Right? We are not going to do this activity, and other subjects may be having other dimensions in which they can go for extending the topic of prelims to say that it is the mains, right? But if I see my subject of Indian economy, such is not the matter, friends. Topics are such that we need to separately study PT and mains. We cannot go for such thing as, PT cum mains. So I am planning to start your classes from the prelims course first of all, and once prelims course is over, then we will be switching over to studying about the mains of Indian economy. So I think this must be amply clear to you that our class will start from PT course, and once PT course is over, then we will be switching over to mains, right? So this is how I am dealing with the syllabus in your class. I am going to deal with your syllabus in this class, right, of UPSC economics, right? So this is one thing, and I'm planning to give you classes of around, PT mains taken together. I'm going to give you total number of hours, broadly 120 hours classes. I'm going to teach you. You can do 10% plus or minus, like there is a little chance of doing minus. 10% plus may be the bigger chance, right? But as we will be going through the syllabus, we will be understanding this thing, whether we are, crossing the limit or not. But broadly, I am telling you that this is going to be the total class budget for PT and mains, right? And we can equally divide this. For PT, I will be teaching you around 60 hours. And for mains also, you can say I will be teaching you 60 hours, right? So PT needs, more number of, lectures. PT is not that much simple, and conceptual clarity is to be given. Not only in economics, I think, in any subject, because prelims is mostly about, core of anything. Like if you are studying science, then core of science. If you are studying political science, then the core of political science, and for that matter for other subjects also. So, but in economics we need to do much of conceptual clarity, and most of the students who are appearing for UPSC examination, they generally complain that they are quite weaker at this subject. And in school curriculum, school education, we do not see much of economics in the textbooks. So this becomes a difficult task for a teacher who is teaching in a class for civil services, and he is constrained by the requirement of UPSC. He cannot make things very much simple in the class, right? And if he is making the things very simple, then he is also to understand that he is not to compromise any quality. If you are not able to attempt the questions properly, then what's the use of being simple in the class? That is my philosophy. So I will try to develop your basics in my prelims classes, and will also try to give you latest facts and trends in various economic areas relating to Indian economy, right friends? So this is the way how I am going to deal with this syllabus. And then mains, and when I will be starting mains class, then I will be giving you introduction of mains class. Today I will be limiting myself to discussing the syllabus for prelims and how we are going to make a strategy about prelims for UPSC, right? So my today's introduction is having discussion about prelims only, right? So I think all of you are very much clear to about these classes, right? So in this today's introductory class, I will be discussing the PT course, right? PT course. So our first discussion is about what is the syllabus of UPSC. So you should open up your notebook or register, whatever you are having for writing purpose. You should open that thing, and please start writing about whatever I am writing on the board, right? The first thing is about the UPSC syllabus. So this UPSC syllabus for economics is what? What are the points which UPSC has given in their syllabus, right? So first topic is like poverty. Then inclusions, demographics. I am writing demographics, but I am not going to teach this demographics because it is mostly about geography syllabus, right? So poverty, inclusions, demographics, sustainable development, social sector initiatives, and finally they wrote one more word, that is etc. This is your syllabus given by the UPSC for prelims purpose: poverty, inclusions, demographics, sustainable development, social sector initiatives, etc. This is your syllabus. Now, how to understand which type of subject coverage should be there in our class? How to understand? If you see these topics, then we need only 7 days or 10 days to cover this syllabus. Poverty, inclusions, demographics, sustainable development, social sector initiatives, etc. How many days they can take? So only 7 to 10 days, this time frame is enough to cover this syllabus. But if you see unsolved papers of UPSC, the previous papers, in order to better understand syllabus, you need to purchase or you need to see unsolved papers also, so that you can understand what are the areas, which are the areas from which the UPSC is putting up questions. So if we assume that on an average, questions from economics are around 20, suppose, then how we can place these 20 questions in this frame? So you can say that this part is one part and etc. is another part, right? There are two parts, right? This one and this one. I am giving separate place to etc. word. So if you assume that 20 questions are related to Indian economy in PT examination on an average, if you see 2012 PT paper, the number of questions relating to Indian economy were around 35. You won't believe this figure, right? 35 was the number. So in some years number was higher, in some number was less. So I assumed that around 20 questions are put up from Indian economy part. Then you can say 5 questions are only related to this syllabus. You will be finding these statistics very much interesting, right? Poverty, inclusions, demographics, sustainable development, social sector initiatives, these all topics are covering only this part out of 20 questions. And etc. part is tackling 15 questions. And this is completely undefined. There is no, this is undefined part. An undefined part is having this much rule, right? That comes to be, if you make the plus 20 and this is 75% and this is 25%. Now you are the judge, you are to say how to do with this syllabus, right? Poverty, inclusions, demographics, sustainable development and these initiatives. If we are restricting ourselves to these topics only, then Indian economy part we are unable to do in the UPSC PT examination just by covering these topics, right? Then how to deal with this thing? So we need to see the unsolved papers, the previous year papers, particularly since 2012. 2012 in my view is a critical year in which toughest Indian economic questions were there. And number was also largest number of questions, plus if you see their standard, the standard was toughest ever in my view. Second toughest level you can see in 2022 UPSC PT paper, recently only. And recently 2023 prelims was conducted, and just before this examination we were having 2022 PT paper. You can go through that, you will be finding on your own that what is the level of difficulty in this paper regarding Indian economic question. So unsolved paper is good, eye opener for us that which type of topics we need to cover. So I have made my own syllabus for your class, my own syllabus, which we can call as our class syllabus for Indian economy. So friends, you must be getting, I think, that this is the UPSC syllabus for economics, and these are the topics: poverty, inclusions, demographics. I am not giving you, brief idea about these topics right now. I am just simply writing upon the board. An introductory class is usually a bit difficult. Why? Because most of the students are not having a good knowledge about the topics. The teacher can move from one thing to another to discuss various phenomena which are happening in Indian economy. So you may feel slightly uncomfortable in introductory class, but trust me, as I will start teaching you from the next class onwards, you will gradually develop confidence in the classes and in the content which we are putting in these classes. Please have a trust in my strategy and my coverage and my teaching methodology, right? So this is the point which I raised before you. So how to deal with this undefined part, that is etc. part? That is basic challenge before us. So I have gone through all the papers right since 2012. Even before this year I saw the unsolved papers, and then I made my own syllabus for the class. So let us move for next heading. This is the syllabus given by the UPSC. This is our first writing part of our class right now. Now I am talking about the second thing. So please write in your notebook the second thing, the class syllabus for Indian economy. The class syllabus for Indian economy. And I think you all people must be quite tired because recently only you left your science tech classes and then my class got started, and after my class I think polity class by Honorable Rajesh Mishra sir will be given to you. Anyhow, so I will not be burdening much you today and will be giving you class of around 1 hour and so not much, right? So class syllabus for Indian economy. What is the class syllabus? So let us make a diagram about this. So this diagram I am presenting the class syllabus, right? So I made 6 chapters to cover your syllabus for prelims, 6 chapters of our class, right? The first chapter is about a very famous topic, that is national income and product. This is our first chapter, national income and product, and you must be familiar with such concepts like GDP, GNP, NNP, NN-paid factor cost, market prices, right? Per capita income. You might have heard about, real per capita income, nominal per capita income, GDP at current prices, GDP at constant prices, right? And nowadays you must have seen a debate about GDP data in newspapers, in which government is telling that growth rate is higher, but some economists are denying this, and they are using such words as deflator. Calculation of deflator is not accurate. Some people are telling this. So we are going to study about what this deflator is, like GDP deflator, GNP deflator, and you must be quite experienced to understand this thing, that most of the questions which come in UPSC prelims or mains examination, they have higher and very higher correlation with what is happening in current affairs, right? So these deflators and such sort of things may be your next questions in coming prelims examination of 2024. So I will be dealing with all these things, right, in this national income and product. This is very comprehensive, chapter, in which we will be talking about what are the meanings of recession, slowdown, depression, meltdown, contraction, and how we can design monetary and fiscal policies. Monetary and fiscal policies, how we can make counter-cyclical particularly. By counter-cyclical, I mean to say that if this is your GDP curve, GDP is going up. GDP presently, do not get worried about this point that you are not aware about GDP. GDP is something like production. You can say it is production. Just you are to extend the thought. Production of a farmer is also a production, and production of an economy is also production. But when you talk about macroeconomics, the whole country, you give a general statement about the production level of your country, in which you talk about agriculture, primary sector, you talk about secondary sector, you talk about tertiary sector, which you call famously service sector. All production levels are added together to give one figure. And the technical parts I will explain you in my tomorrow's class, that it is not that much simple that we are simply adding the total production. So usually we say that the production of all final goods and services, we use this word final. So what is the technicality about this word, I will discuss in my class of this topic. Right now I am not giving you the class. Presently I am not giving you the class, I am just discussing. So this is production sort of thing. Production is moving up, means production is going up. But due to various reasons, this production may go down like this. They are cycles, right? Cycle became, downturn. This is upturn, this is downturn. This is usually called as, recession. This part is something like recession. If production decline becomes consecutive for becomes regular for 2 consecutive quarters, production is getting down, then you say recession. So in this chapter I will be talking about what recession is, how is it different from other phenomena like slowdown, depression, contraction and so on, and how we can design monetary and fiscal policies to counter this cycle. The cycle has gone down. So when this cycle is to be reversed, then this is called counter cyclical policies, right? And try to give me the attention of you. I just need your attention, right? If you are attentive, I can do excellent with you. But if you are not attentive, I cannot do anything, right? So please, if I want to get something from you, I want your attention. So this counter cyclical, this cycle is to be countered through a mix of monetary and fiscal policies, which is famously called as stimulus. You stimulate your economy. So I will be discussing all these things. It is not that much simple discussion that we are writing simple national income and product and we are doing GDP, GNP, NNP per capita income and so on. I will be having various points of discussion in this chapter, and you will also understand the role of monetary and fiscal policies, which is newspapers of this time nowadays, they are completely awash with this type of topics, right? So we need to understand Keynesian economics. A very famous economist, you might have heard the name John Maynard Keynes, and he gave his own economics theory. I will be giving you that theory, which will make fundamentals of your economics, that how we can understand the role of central banks, how we can understand the role of budgets, government budgets and so on. And moving further into this topic, I will also deal with sustainable development, right, which is there in your syllabus, right? Sustainable development type of topic I will cover under this, apart from multiplicity of other things, right? Presently this topic has acquired very good importance, right? And do not mix this concept with SDGs, sustainable developmental goals. This is sustainable development, goal word is not there, and many a times students become confused, right? So these goals are 17 goals in number. Sustainable development is a concept which talks about intergenerational equity regarding resource exploitation. Present generation and future generation, they should have equal level of resources. The matter should not be such that the present generation, which is more powerful, is using more of resources and making coming generations bankrupt. This type of topic will come under this, because you should understand one thing: higher GDP, higher production will have a kind of cost, resource cost, because in every production, every product, be that this product is this one shirt, watch, this digital board, this marker, every production item is having some resources. So more and more of these items production will deplete our resources. Environmental issues will also come under this topic, like we every time these days, every time we listen about carbon neutrality, net zero carbon carbon credit, carbon border tax, carbon taxes. European Union planned for imposing carbon border tax, and countries like India are resisting this tax. And India is telling that they are trying to protect their industries by imposing this tax. Don't get worried if I go beyond a certain point. Why? Because my class, this class is introductory class. I will have to show you the latitude and longitude of my content. That's the reason I am talking like this. And I think you are all patient enough, because UPSC is all about patience, right? Everywhere you need to give the show your patience, right? So I think you will understand properly what I want to tell. Such type of topics I will cover. I will also cover under this topic what is the difference between growth and development, right? And human development index and multiplicity of other indices I will be covering. I will also be talking about capital formation, which is very much essential for the growth of the country. What is the role of saving, investment in the economic growth of a country? What is I-core? Such items I will be covering in this topic. This is not the exhaustive list which I am giving you. By the time into it is not final. When I will start giving the classes to you, actually from tomorrow onwards, then you will be getting multiplicity of things. Presently, I am just giving you a glimpse of the topics. I am not talking about all the topics, right? So friends, this is a national income and product sort of topic. Once this is over, then I will be moving to this topic, which is called as public finance. This public finance is nothing but government finance, you can well say. This is government finance, right? Sarkari वित्त, सार्वजनिक वित्त बोले तो सरकारी वित्त, government finance, right? Public word usually indicate government, right? Public matters are looked after by the government, so government finance. And finance is the management of money. And you know that under Article 38 of our Constitution, to use Indian specific example, Indian state is welfare state as per Article 38. And for welfare of the people, you need more and more amount of money for providing cheaper food grains to your poor people, to give polio vaccination, to go for corona vaccination, to provide rural roads, clean drinking water, gas cylinders, multiplicity of various other items, right? We need money, and government generally, this is not the task of the government to do business. Hear me carefully. Can you imagine that the government can do business, or government is business entity? Then you are having contradictory thing. Welfare state cannot be a business state. And even Modi sir once said that it is not the business of the government to do business. Though our government is having various enterprises, and you know that under socialism thought, we created public sector industries in bigger amount, right? That is one thing, but we thought that whatever profits we would be earning, we will be using these profits for public welfare, right? But still, if government is doing business, it seems contradictory. And the government cannot become terrorist either. We cannot think that the government can become terrorist. And we are democratic country. So from where the money will come? So public finance, a topic needs proper attention. So there is a proper chapter in this class. And in this chapter, I will be talking about various types of receipts of the government, like revenue receipts, capital receipts, revenue expenditures, capital expenditures. We will be talking about scheme expenditures, non-scheme expenditures. And India was having another classification also, which we abolished. That was the classification of plan expenditure and non-plan expenditure. But we removed this sort of classification, I think in 2017-18. and replaced it with another classification, scheme and non-scheme. So I will be giving you all ideas about these receipts and expenses. I will also be talking about gaps in receipts and expenses, and these gaps are famously called as deficits. So we will be studying about fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, primary deficit, various types of deficits, right? Budget deficit and all in this chapter. We will also be studying about various taxes, direct, indirect, whether direct taxes are better as compared to indirect taxes, and if we say the direct taxes are better, then can we completely reject the indirect taxes? And what is GST, and why we call it a value addition tax? What is ITC and GST? What is center-state relationship regarding resource transfer, in which we will be studying about finance commission and all. And we will also be studying about black money, dirty money. What is the difference between black money and dirty money, and what are the steps taken by the government to control this black money? Similarly, there is the issue of tax avoidance. There are two words, like we talk about tax evasion and we talk about tax avoidance, right? So tax evasion, tax avoidance, what are the differences, right? Black money is associated with this thing, tax evasion. This is illegal, and here people use legal methods to bypass taxes. So I will be giving you idea about all these things, and how G20 and OECD countries are trying to control tax avoidance through digitalization, and what is global minimum corporate tax rate, and such matters are going to occupy a big place in our class, right? So this is public finance, friends. After this, we will be moving into what is called money and banking. So in this chapter, we will be talking about what is the definition of money, and what is the role of money in an economy, what is the demand for money for it. There is a concept called as demand for money. What is supply of money? How rate of interest is determined through demand and supply of money. If I remember, try to remember, there was a question in UPSC PT examination once. The question was like what? If the supply of money is constant, supply of money is constant, if the supply of money is constant and the demand for money increases, if the supply of money is constant and the demand for money increases, then what is the impact on what is the impact? So they gave options like this. Rate of interest will remain constant. Rate of interest will increase. Will decrease, and no change. My idea is not to discuss the questions in this class today. I am not telling like this, but I want to convey one thing, that you must be theoretically also stronger in economics if you want to perform nicely. then you need to become theoretically stronger, because economics is theoretical subject. But as a student, you are not aware about what should be the depth of your theoretical knowledge. You are not aware about this. Here comes the role of a coach. So through his experience, he can understand what should be the level of depth in the class. So I will be doing that. I will be having a blend of theory with the present events. So, but my point is what, like, such type of questions are there. The right answer of this is what? Increase. But before you choose an option, you must know the theory. So supply of money, demand for money. I will be teaching you money is nothing other than a simple commodity. Why you should give separate value to money? Money is also an item. Like this marker is able to write upon the board, money is able to transact the goods and services. So that is also a kind of commodity, you can say. But this commodity is for exchange purpose. We cannot eat that commodity, that is money. We cannot use that money type of item to write upon the board. We cannot drink that item. That is only the difference. Otherwise, demand for money is same thing as like demand for commodity. And common sense, I repeatedly say in my class that economics is the subject of common sense. If you are having common sense, economics is most beautiful, persuasive subject for you. So, and comfortable subject for you. So, if demand for anything is higher, price will increase. And price of money is what? Rate of interest. Money has also a price. If my friend is demanding money from me, I will say which type of interest you will give me, how much rate of interest you will give me. If I give my money to a company by buying an equity, I expect some dividends from that company, returns, right? So rate of interest will increase in this case. All these things I will teach you. I will try my level best to train you, but it also depends upon you. If I work hard, I try to give best of myself to you, but you remain indifferent, then we cannot do this task of getting good level in UPSC preparation. Okay, friends. So after this is finished, for example, then we will be moving to another chapter, that is the chapter of financial market. Financial markets, right? And financial markets consists of two parts: money market and the capital market. So financial markets are having two parts: money market and capital market. And every year I think they put up questions from these markets. At least for the last 3 years I am watching this phenomena that they are asking from these markets, right? If you see 2023 prelims paper, if you remember, if you have seen it, then they put up a question like this, that study the following. And they gave some 4 items, I think: cold money market, treasury bill market, government bond market, I think, stock market, such type of things. And they said which are are the part of capital market, right? They are related to money market. In cold money market, we exchange money for only one day, overnight money. And treasury bills, if I will be teaching you, they are not having a lifespan greater than 364 days, which is under 1 year. And these two markets are related with, capital market. So this is the division. This is temporal division based on time. This division is based on time. Temporal means time based division, right? So this is financial market, friends, right? And it is quite important and always remains in current affairs, everything. And once this is over, then I will be moving for foreign sector. And as the name itself is indicative, in foreign sector we talk about our economic relations with other countries, right? Like export, import of goods and services, right? Unilateral transfers. There are various people, NRIs in abroad, they send money in our country, that is called private remittances. NRIs also deposit money in Indian banks, these are called NRI deposits. People make FDI, foreign direct investment in our country. People make investment through the route of stock market. Yeah. So stock market, this is called portfolio investment, right? So such things, and we will be studying about the exchange rate of Indian rupee, why it's becoming depreciated, why it is becoming appreciated, what is effective exchange rate, what is near, rear. If you see 2022 paper, 2022 paper, there was a question about near, rear. In my view, it was a hugely complicated sort of question, very much expertise it requires. So you cannot take your syllabus for economics loosely, that by studying NCERT books and other things you can cover this syllabus. It is impossible, friends, right? So I will be teaching you this near, rear. I will be talking about the concept called as dollarization. Versus de-dollarization. Internationalization of Indian rupee. These are new topics, right? Internationalization of Indian rupee. Hawkish monetary policy of US. Hawkish oblique tight monetary policy. USA and impact on Indian rupee. So what is the meaning of monetary policy being hawkish? What is the sense of monetary policy being dovish or accommodative? These terms need to be understood by you for two purposes, right? In order to study the newspapers and other magazines properly and to attempt UPSC questions. So I will be equipping you with this type of terminologies wherever they are required. If rate of interest is higher, then you say hawkish monetary policy. When rate of interest is lower, you say dovish monetary policy, right? Hawkish, dovish, this way. So if last year PT paper, if you see, they put up this thing, tight monetary policy of US leads to capital flight from India. So if rate of interest of US is higher, US investors will take their money from India in American dollars. So they will be demanding more of American dollars. This will lead to higher price of American dollar in Indian rupees. So previously, suppose you were giving rupees 81 for 1 American dollar, and now you are giving 83 or 84 rupees. This means that Indian rupee has got depreciated due to hawkish monetary policy. What is dollar index, which is often in the newspaper? So a media person put up a question before the Honorable Finance Minister, Madam, why Indian rupee is depreciating? And interestingly, what was the reply she gave? She said, no, Indian rupee is not depreciating. American dollar is appreciating. So how we can understand her statement? I will be talking in this concept when I will be teaching you. So in dollar index, 6 currencies are used, and American dollar's relationship with 6 currencies is seen. An interesting thing is what this dollar index improved, means American dollar became stronger with respect to these 6 currencies in which Indian rupee is not there. So Madam Finance Minister said that you are telling that Indian rupee is depreciating. You forgot one thing, that American dollar itself is appreciating with respect to various other currencies. So why it will not appreciate with respect to Indian rupee? So you need to develop yourself in this way. So foreign sector, in this foreign sector, I will also be covering some global institutes like IMF, World Bank, WTO, right, in this way. And once foreign sector is over, then my 6th chapter will come, that is social sector. I created social sector even in economics, and in this social sector I will be teaching you inflation, poverty, and unemployment. These topics will also be taught by me in maths. So we will finish our PT course up to this point, inflation. And when we will touch this topic, I will be entering into mains syllabus, keeping in view prelims requirements. So in these two topics, I will be having that range coverage that your purpose of both PT and mains, is solved. So from this point onwards, we will be moving into mains. So this is how I designed my course for your class for prelims, right? And as I told you that around 60 hours I will give you, but each day we will be studying for 1.5 hours, not more than that. I feel that in online classes, to study, uh, beyond a certain point of time, to study more on online platform is really a very difficult task to continuously watch the screen. And I think you are having many more such classes, so it becomes quite difficult for you to cope up with this scenario. So, and economics is the subject which requires big attention and continuous thinking in your mind, so you will feel exhausted. So I do not want to drag my class unnecessarily. So I will be teaching you for 1.5 hours only, right? This is my timing for the class, right? So friends, you might have understood the syllabus of UPSC, right? Syllabus of my class regarding Indian economy topics. This is our second, topic, right? And third topic is what? You may please write. Nature of questions, if we see. If we see unsolved papers, previous year papers, then which type of questions we can infer? What is the nature? And it's quite important that we should understand the nature. So the concept related question. Direct concept related questions are also there in UPSC, plus in order to understand any option of your questions. For example, I recently discussed with you what is the impact on the rate of interest if demand for money increases. Given that money supply is constant, if demand for money is higher, then what is the impact on the rate of interest? This is what like concept as well as theory sort of thing also. So some theoretical part is also there, theoretical concept you can say. And if you see unsolved papers of previous years, I remember there was a question about what the definition of GDP is. So you must know the idea of GDP, right? And recently RBI issued some statistics about the saving rate in our country. Saving rate has gone down to quite lower level. 5.1% of GDP net, financial savings. Then you should understand what is the meaning of financial saving. And next time around they can put up a question about study the following. And in financial savings, which items will be included? So financial saving is a concept, right? There are two types of savings are there, physical and financial. Like if a person is buying a house is physical, so his money is put into house, and the money which he is putting into house cannot be consumed by him, cannot be used by him, so it is a kind of saving. He is buying ornaments for his wife, this is also physical saving. He is buying a car sort of thing, and car is a kind of asset, and you are also having resale value of that, though it is subject to depreciation, that is a different case. These are physical. A person is buying land, this is physical saving. So you are buying gold, you are buying house, you are buying vehicle. These are all physical, you can touch them, tangible sort of thing. What is unique about it? Various people say economics seems to be quite difficult. Sir's level is quite high. So what is this high level? I am searching for that. For quite many years, why people say so, my level is quite higher. So without level, can you crack UPSC? And students do not say UPSC level is higher. Those people who prepare for UPSC never complain that UPSC level is higher. They do not see their own level. They do not blame UPSC. And if they blame, they take some different points. So if you are thinking about a bigger goal, so be according to that. If you are not becoming according to that, then what's the sense? So as a teacher, I understand my role that I am to talk a level in my class. I cannot compromise that, but I can give you 0 level first, but I cannot leave the highest level which is required in your UPSC preparation, right? I never mind such type of things, right? So concepts, theory, facts, facts are also required many times. Then trends, trend related question. I will discuss what do we mean by writing this word trend. And current. Concepts, facts. Kant, there was a very famous philosopher who said concepts are empty without facts. Concepts are empty without facts. and facts are blind without concepts. Very interesting line, like concepts are empty without facts. People know about the concept of God. There is a God, there must be a power, omnipotent, omniscient. But they have never come across with such concept. The concept is empty. And even if a person has come across with such a phenomena, he is not able to explain it. As Shankaracharya says, it is अनिर्वचनीय, जिसका वर्णन नहीं हो सकता, जिसको आप बता नहीं सकते. So concepts of God are vacant. There is no fact about it so far as myself is concerned and various other people are concerned. Demonetization was done recently in November 2016. As a student, I did also study about demonetization in my books of public economics or public finance. So I used to imagine that how demonetization may take place, what might be the repercussions of demonetization, why it needs to be done. I used to imagine like that. But when I came across with actual fact of demonetization, which was done on 8th November 2016 through various newspapers, various events, I properly understood it. So concepts remain vacant or empty without facts. So facts are also important, friends, right? And you talk about GDP, GDP, GDP day and night, and your parents keep on asking you, can you please tell me, my son and daughter, what is the level of GDP in our country? What is the level of GDP in our country? And you keep mum around your lips. You are not able to say anything. So your idea is there, but idea is vacant. So let the idea be filled up by actual fact. That's the point which Kant tried to say. Kant was one famous philosopher, and facts are blind without concepts. So in the newspaper we said भारत का saving rate बहुत नीचे आ गया है, very low. 1975 76 के बाद सबसे नीचे आ गया है अभी 2022-23 में 5.1% of GDP. Everybody is studying it. But what is it exactly? This is the fact. People are telling saving, saving, saving. Is it gross saving? First of all, is it gross saving? Is it net saving? Is it gross financial saving? Is it net financial saving? What is it finally? Because a person is not having the notion, the idea about such terminologies, he is baffled, he is not able to get it. Concept is important here. So let me tell you, the RBI is talking about this, net financial saving. If you remove from gross financial savings borrowings by the people, then it becomes net. And you are not talking about physical, you are talking about financial. And these financial savings are important for private corporate sector, government corporate. Physical savings cannot be given to others. How I can give my house to others? Except for rent purpose. Rent is a very minute part of the total value. And he is living in the house, he is not using rent for doing something. But if you have bought a house for rupees 2 crore and if you are postponing it and rupees 2 crore you are giving into a bank deposit, this becomes financial saving. If you purchase equity, if you give to mutual fund, if you buy small saving products, if you buy life insurance plan, this becomes financial saving. And this financial saving is mobile saving which can be used by others. So the RBI is writing this thing that this is not good, because how to go for debt financing by the government, how to go for corporate financing, because these savings are important. There is a word CAPEX, capital expenditure is called CAPEX. Capital expenditure is good for the economy because it is productive. When you purchase machines, if you make infrastructure like airports, express highways, national highways, these are all counted in what is called CAPEX. And for CAPEX you need finance. And household savings are quite important, financial savings. So friends, the point is what? That we need to understand the concepts as well as facts are also required, concepts are required, theories required, trends are also there. If you see previous year's paper, in the last 10-year period, GDP of India increased continuously, the growth rate increased continuously. Trend is not about 1 year, trend is about a time period which must have some more than 1 year sort of thing, like 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, that is trend sort of thing. For example, if you see this saving rate phenomena which I am discussing right now in your class, if you study RBI papers, newspapers, you will be finding that saving rate in India has been declining since 2018-19. So starting from 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, in this way, this is trend, that saving rate is declining. This is trend. They can give you this thing in a statement in your coming examination or prelims. And current related issues, whatever is happening in current affairs, like we are talking about like government fixed this MEP for rice, minimum export price. In today's newspaper, if you see, the government is, in order to control exports, government fixed minimum export price for basmati rice per ton, $1,200 per ton. Anybody who is exporting this rice in other countries, anybody who is exporting rice in other countries cannot charge a price less than this. And various traders, farmers are telling that this price is, because of this they are not able to export. So today's newspaper talking like this. Okay friends, so these things, nature of questions are like this. And last thing is study material, and then I will leave your class because there is another class planned for you. I know about this, friends. So unsold papers you should buy unsold papers since 2012, unsold papers. Then class notes which I will be creating. Then economic survey, 3 years at least. If you are not able to do, it is my task to cover this when I will give you classes. Budget, 3 years. One base book you can use, IC Ingra book. a newspaper, that is Business Standard, I will suggest you. And if you are not able to purchase it, then go for Hindu also. I think you must be studying, so always go through the business page, and text context is one column. I think the various articles are there. You study them, right? Through that also you can update yourself. So these are the things which you need to study for study material, right? And one more thing, while studying you should develop vertical approach in your studying. By that I mean to say, when you prepare for prelims, think also about mains at that time, whether these topics can be used in mains or my mains can become easier by studying this. And when you study mains, then also make a relationship with PT. If you see 2023 PT paper, there was a question about MSP on Niger seed. MSP is given in mains syllabus. So this interlinkage you can also explore. So thank you very much, friends. Today we will be studying up to this only. Let us meet tomorrow, and I will be starting the chapter of national income and product. Thank you very much, friends.